Today I'm unlocking a scanner that's going to change the way you buy leaps forever. This is the ultimate way to find momentum that's ready to rip so that you guys can have the best bang for your buck. And inside this video, I'm going to discuss exactly how to use and set up and find the best entries for the stocks within this scanner. And if you've been watching the Leap Challenge, you know there's a certain type of play I look for a leap. And I've been giving you guys these plays. PayPal and Amazon, they're great companies. Some of those entries, some of those stocks were at great discounts. You know, PayPal's at a 5-year discount. Amazon's traded at a lower price than it has last year. So it's at a 1-year discount. Great companies, great discounts. That's the first way I buy leaps. That's where most of my leap buying will be. But the most exciting way to buy leaps, which you'll always like exciting, obviously, is hype. Hype companies in a good market can rip faster than any boring stock available. So if we buy these at the right moment, if we find them, this is where we could see 1 to 1,000% relatively quick. The biggest breakouts, the biggest opportunities if you know how to scout them. So inside the video, I'm going to discuss the hype route. What are the hype stocks? How do you scan for them? And what's the best entry to get in on them so you're not waiting around, so you're not getting in at the top, you're getting in at the perfect moment. Hype stocks are the key if you want to maximize your money in the bull markets. And hype stocks in general, just so you know, they're typically earlier companies. Early companies mean lower market caps. Lower market cap companies mean that they can print and move faster. For example, Clove is one stock on my radar. This is at a 1.8 billion market cap. So it doesn't take a lot of money from an institution to move this and double the price. This could go up to $6 in a day or a week or a month. So Clove, because of the low market cap, gives it a lot of upside. So a stock like Amazon, for Amazon to go to a 4 trillion market cap, it's not easy. So it's not going to be a much of a move when you get Amazon. You're going to get tighter candles, consolidation that lasts longer. Amazon's probably going to be more frustrating, but honestly, Clove can be even more frustrating in a bad market. So you have to be careful what market you're buying these hype stocks in. At some point, we're at the beginning of hype cycles, at the end, at the middle, really all dictated on the index funds. If the index funds are in a bullish run and they're continuing, that's when hype stocks are probably good to tackle. But again, think about it. If Clove just hit a 10 billion market cap, it'd be like a 5x from here. The stock would 5x, which means options would multi-1,000%. So that's why we look for low market cap stocks, the bigger upsides. And what we look for is validation. You know, it's already been getting hype. It's already been kind of running. It's been 1 month, 3 months of bullish activity, and it's starting to get hyped up. Some people see it. Maybe a lot of people see it. But the point is, if it has momentum and it has the backing of social media and CNBC, that's when the idiots start buying. And that's when the stock can move the fastest. Because when it goes straight up and vertical, that's when people typically keep piling in, and that's where the top is in. So there's a unique threshold here where we're trying to get in before that vertical moment, or trying to basically profit from that last rip. And once it starts being pushed across all the socials, all the news stations, that's when we're going to see our exit. But again, we're looking for like a beginning of hype. You don't want to be getting in at the top. It's pretty easy to spot the top with the entry I'll give you. The last thing is the macro shift. So we're thinking about what's happening right now macro-wise. We're seeing a ton of AI. We're seeing a ton of robotics. We're seeing a ton of, let's see if I have the battery producers, nuclear, data centers, chip stocks, robotics. This is hype right now. Hype right now, it's already happening. It's already easy to find. All of these stocks are absolutely on fire. For example, EOS, battery producer, absolutely on fire. This stock has went from 6 to 18. That is momentum. That is hype. And that is in a sector that is also validating the hype, because everybody believes that we're going to need more of this, that the market's going to increase, the demand's going to increase exponentially. So these type of plays are the current hypes right now. You might remember in the past, there's been bubbles in the past. Remember the EV bubble in 2020 when everybody thought, Rivian and Lucid were going to be huge investments and there was to be so much opportunity in EVs. And then boom, the hype died. Those stocks went down forever. But in the midst of the hype, if you go back and check Rivian's chart, it's obviously very depressing to look at it now, but the stock, once it went, I forget if it was a SPAC or an IPO, but once it became a publicly traded stock, it doubled. It doubled in 2 weeks. So that's something we could have made money on during that cycle. Another one is Lucid. Lucid went from $100 to $6. It went from $200 to $6. So there's been 2 moments in Lucid that the hype would have paid you a ton. And I want to get you in at the best moments. But these are examples of past bubbles that popped. But you have to recognize the bubble in the money flow equation we're in. Right now, it's AI, it's energy, it's big data, it's robotics. You have to know where the money is. That's where the biggest hype runs can be. So we're not trying to light our money on fire. We're just trying to hit 50 to 100% as quick as possible through good entries and good scans and good validation. So I want to go over, again, the power of hype. Here's IRIN. If you got in at $10, you would have made thousands of percentages up. If you got in any single week in the past 10 weeks, you would have made like 50 to 300% on leap options. So IRIN is a good example of you literally could have bought any of these candles and made money. This hype, if we recognized it, if we scanned it early, we could have been taking advantage of this in some way. And one student that I've been working with hit $1.6 million with IRIN. You can see his account here, just absolutely straight to the moon with leaps. So if you get in early, the very beginning, that's obviously the best. But it doesn't mean you can't make money if you're late. Everybody's late to these type of sectors and rotations and opportunities. Everybody's late, even institutions. So just remember that we can still get in. So now let me show you the scanner that's going to do it all for you. So I'm going to go to FinViz. You can go to any platform you want. We're going for market caps that are 5 billion and above. I don't want to go penny stock land. And we want to go optionable. We want to make sure we can buy leaps, obviously. And then we want to make sure the performance over the last quarter is above 75%. It means the stocks moved 75%, which obviously validates short-term trend, which is what I'm trying to teach here is IRIN. The issue with IRIN is that the stock traded sideways for 3 years, right? So you could have bought in early, but early means you wait longer sometimes. Early means you can make a lot, but you could also be stuck just hanging, waiting, hoping. Once the stock starts validating the direction, the volume, everything picks up, that's when you can see your entry being the best and the perfect time. So you want to make sure we get in early for that move, but not too early. It's a unique difference. And that's why if we scan for 75% pushes, we're going to see that validated momentum. So at this point, here's a list of 40 stocks. And what we can do is we can even customize this more to get less. So at this point, maybe you want just 20 names to go and search through. Here's how we dictate when one is better than the other. So this is the secret for everything I do on YouTube. I do leaps, I do my 3 pick plays. It's all around this one entry. It's the flag. The flag is the key for success and consolidation with the trend. That's the idea. So let me explain to you a flag. And we can go off IRIN because IRIN is actually a good current example. So if we look at IRIN, here's your uptrend. Whenever we pause in a trend, that's our time to go and tackle the trade, enter. The pause here, we could see great pullback, and now we have created the flag. So this flag is where we want to start buying and positioning in for the breakout to the upside. And our goal is to wait for a 1, 2, or 3 week consolidation or a flag that we can buy the stock. So when I go through the list, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this pullback, this flag, this entry. And if we look at the past, there wasn't many flags that lasted more than like a couple days. This one was probably the most exciting, and this looks exactly like a flag if you're looking back at it. Consolidated, bang, 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 bang. And then once we broke out, that's when it ripped forever. So I don't like chasing. I don't like getting in on these candles. I like getting in on these really, really long consolidation phases. So it could be 1 to 30 days. Who knows? 7 to 30 days. One of them I just showed you earlier was EOS. EOS is battery play. So what's the flag here? It's pretty large because the pullbacks recently have been brutal in the markets, but it's a large flag. And if we go to like the weekly chart, we've only consolidated for like 2 weeks. But EOS, this is a hype trend. Obviously, you can see the move here. A lot of upside potential if we look at the prior levels on 22, 31. Really love the potential upside here. And so the flag, perfect. The upside, perfect. And that's what I'm looking for when I'm trying to scout one leap over the other with hype. And so what you're going to do is you're going to probably export this list, put it in to Thinkorswim or TradingView and start going through this. But I'm going to run through a couple of these stocks. A lot of data center plays like Cypher, perfect flag here. This is a play that has earnings, so we have to be careful. But we're starting to go sideways on that. And the deeper the discount on the flag, the better it is. So like if you can get in at the lowest part, that's where we want to enter. So you got to make sure we don't try to buy at the top. That's where we're going to get stuck a lot. So keep running through these plays. I'll see if I find anything really, really nice. Lumen. We're basically just going through this list looking for the perfect setup. Look at that. Just completely gone. So the power of this watch list is so important. Just by this picture, you can see this stock went like 30% in a week. So we missed it. This is where I can't chase it. I can't enter on this move. I need to be entering things that are trading sideways. So a lot of the data center plays have traded sideways, looked really healthy. But that's the exact opposite of where I want to get in. Here's a great flag setup. APLD. There's the flag. Again, it's pretty large because the market's already ran up so much. But we're trying to buy at the lower ends of it. So be very careful. Position in. Be patient because these are your best entries. Because if you can play even the range of the flag, and it's large like this, $28 to $40 is like let's say $10 move. So if I go to APLD and we go to the leaps, we go to a call. Again, I go 10, 20% out of the money. If we go $10, let's say 34 to 44, that's a 50% return. The beauty of what I'm teaching you is if you can even buy the range, you can make profit within the range. You don't have to wait for a breakout. You can kind of trade the range of the flag too. So when you're looking at the flag, you're trying to buy as low as you humanly can. And then look for it to run to the top, scale out, let some run to see if it breaks. But this scanner is your golden goose in a good bull market, in a market that is starting to get frothy money flow. These type of plays are going to rip the most. So you have to keep an eye out for these. if you're ever looking for even short squeezers, like this is how we can find plays that are like Beyond Meat, gonna squeeze multiple hundreds of percentages just the stock, in a couple of days. Stocks like Beyond Meat can be scanned and found before the moves happen, because when this move happened, you could have scanned it, found it, and got in the next couple days. So that is it today. I gave you some huge secrets that I usually keep locked up, but I'm opening them up today. Some of my best scans, some of my best scenarios I'm playing these stocks. And if you guys want to watch the past video on the leaps, make sure to check it out. We did go over covered calls, how to create passive income while you're holding a leap, which can produce 10 to 20% returns every month. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.